We live. Pep Talk UK, Pro Bees, the first live on the channel. And who is the first guest? A man that you might know that's taken on all challenges, no fear, always wants to smoke. Mr. Tom Little, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Just trying to get a few bits sorted out. Just getting me missus on the road to recovery. She's been a bit poorly, so once all that's all sorted out, then this week I'll start training again and hopefully get a phone call with Uncle Eddie with a bit of
Juicy news.
Well, juicy news. Like, to be honest with you, I won't make no secret about it. They offered me Babic for September.
I spoke with Babic the other day. Yeah.
Listen, I think I genuinely like him. Like, I think he's a lovely fella. From from how I spoke to him, do you know what I mean? But it's business, isn't it? And we're in the entertainment business. So I believe I'm an entertaining character. I think he's very entertaining. Like, listen, if I weren't going to have a fight with him, I'd definitely be a fan of his. Do you know what I mean? So it just makes perfect sense. So I see, but September's too early for me to dive in. Which I said to Ed yesterday, if you can
too early, okay.
If you can do October, then I'll do October. I said, but I can't get ready for September. I said I'd rather go out in October and get wiped clean out in a couple of rounds, if that's what's meant to happen, knowing that I was fit enough to fight if I just got caught, rather than be, say, 3 rounds up and then a gasket pops. I'll never forgive myself. Do you know what I mean? That's me selling myself, literally selling myself out. Do you know what I mean? So, and I've been at this point for a while. How many opportunities am I actually going to get? And so, when they first originally offered me the Babic fight, I thought, nobody knows nothing about this fella. He don't really have anything really to warrant me fighting him. Magdov only had a couple of fights, but you look at the amateur pedigree. If I went and beat him, there was that. There's also the Loom where he beat Joshua as an amateur, and whatever. That was just weren't meant to be. So yeah, I thought myself this year, but that fight the other day with Sean Dale Winters put him in the top 100 or top 60 or something like that. And I thought myself, Joe, what? It's juicy now, do you know what I mean? People in Britain know him. He's fought here. So I thought, Joe, what? I said to Eddie, I regret not taking the fight. And he said, you still have it. I was right, son, let's fucking have it.
So you was meant to be in fight camp and get against Babic. You were meant to be.
I was meant. Well, I weren't meant to be. They asked me, and I said no. I said because it just don't really make any sort of sense. And then I thought, do you know what? When I looked at the fight, obviously, I know full well he's a hard fight for anybody. He's going to be all over you. It's my job. I got obviously. I'd have to make him miss to a certain extent without gassing myself. So you can't be too energetic. I've got to try and catch him with something early to I don't think there is going to be any backing in him with a shot. You'll either knock him out or he'll just keep coming. You know what I mean? But you've still got to throw meaningful shots to even have a chance of making him think twice. But also, realistically, no man is a machine. So you can't fight like that as a big or biggish man. And obviously he's a small big man, but he's still a big man. And I just think me and him click for a brilliant fight. I think he's a likeable fella. I like to think I'm a likeable fella. Do you know what I mean? The real winners in that will be the fans, aren't they? Me and him punching absolute. Let's let's all be honest, and it's probably went against me a few times. I'm not one to shy away if I get caught or get clipped. I'll get my head down and I'll get stuck straight in. I'll go out on my shield or there's no quit or dive in me. Do you know what I mean? So that you'll definitely know the full measure of Babic by the time of the end. Listen, I don't mean no harm. And this is not really to be proud of. I took Daniel Dubois. I think it was 5 rounds. 5 rounds with a broken hand. With a broken hand. He's wiping these guys out like in WBO rankings, like 1-2 round jobbies, like sending them sliding like what's that? So I think that shows that the resilience of me. Shows the resilience of me, if anything else. Do you know what I mean? So just go. I hope the fight gets made. Let me just run and get a charger real quick.
No probs, mate. No probs.
Yeah, so that's really where I'm at with that. Really,
I can see. Yeah.
Openly get nailed down, but like I said to someone yesterday, Babic ain't one of the men in life you're going to go out hunting for and looking for. Do you know what I mean? If it happens, it happens. It'd be a good fight. I'm more than willing to participate. But if it don't happen, then we'll look another avenue. Ain't no sweat. Me and him will just be best friends and go and cause. I think the best thing is me and him got the same disliking for the same man. I think that's the beauty of the whole situation.
Oh, what, Dave Alen, yeah?
Yeah, both of us want to tear his nose off his face, which Dave's nose is big enough so we can have.
Why do you hate Dave Alen so much? Yeah, how come you have so much dislike for Dave Alen?
Yeah. Right now, I think if you're a nice man, you should consistently be a nice man. Like every time I see you, you're polite. You're everything. I can see you're just a genuinely nice fella. Right, you're a nice man. Don't pretend to be a nice man and then act like an arsehole. And that's what bitches do. That's what a little bitch does. Do you know what I mean? There's just so many factors. Like he's got a lot of people fooled with this false. I'm not making out that Dave Allen's Satan reincarnated, but what I'm saying is, if you're gonna it's the whole. It's things like this here what pissed me off and really make me dislike him. He pretty much made out that I had to fight an eliminator. He wanted me to fight Jay McFarlane to get a shot fighting him. And then in my inbox, like, mate, I promise I'll fight you before my career's done. But I'm just out looking for the big fights, for the big money. And then in the next breath, calling Babic out. Now, to me, that's being snidey and not snidey, just being a cherry picker, really, isn't it? Really, like don't say one thing and then do another. Do you know what I mean? Because I make out to be no world beater. I didn't make out to be a draw against me and Dave Allen. I didn't want to fight him for expecting hundreds of thousands of pounds. Be nice, could well do with the money. Definitely could. But it ain't because of that. It's because I know that he's. You know when you heard Babic say about a silver spoon, right? A silver spoon, right? You know this Timothy charade that he goes on like ram on about, like gets people feeling sorry for him. Then he gets a couple of build up fights. He got fed to a couple of real world class operators. All right, big deal. Yeah, we all have. Do you know what I mean? Nobody grabs you by the scruff of the neck and throws you in a ring. You got to know your own accord. You got to know your own will. So don't act like you're a vulnerable human being getting the piss taken out of. You got paid. Imagine so no matron. You got paid hands for it. So shut up, stop whining, and fight. Like you're meant to be a fighting man. You want to do a fight job. Fight.
Yeah. Tom, I got to apologize. You know, before we weren't actually live, but we're actually live right now. And we're going to take a few of the questions. MTK Live Horizontal HD. It's saying, big up Pep Talk now. Hey, my man, ask Tom whatever you like. You can ask him the size of his or whatever.
It's off the scale.
You hear that? Okay. So, Ammar Hussein, have you ever had a fight, gypsy style, bare knuckle, in the fields?
I've had loads of them. Not since I've been a professional athlete. It sort of deters people, really. You know what I mean? Nobody really runs or something. But growing up, there was a few. There was quite a few.
Oh, right. Is that where you kind of started out, like learning how to fight in the fields? Bare knuckle.
Do you know what? I've been the same as what I am now. I'd rather be anyone's friend and tell them to piss off, like rather than punch their face in. Like I've always had it about me. Like let's be honest with you. If that average Joe Blogs, who's not really trained, if I get him outside and set about him with my bare hands, chances are, whether I'm a puncher or not, he's gonna die. Do you know what I mean? There's difference in between the men fight. They know how to take punches. Do you know what I mean? So I'll kill them, and I've been aware of that for a long time. But listen, I'm all about me pride, and I wouldn't walk away not from the devil himself. So if it happened, if it come knocking on my door tonight, we'd get straight at it, no problem. I'd try and convince them otherwise. That's good for their well-being, but I'll have it, son. Why is someone offering?
Hey, they're asking how a fight with Dave Alen goes. Obviously, that's the trending topic at the moment. You and Dave Alen, you know, that's the current topic. Again, are you going to relay what you told me a bit earlier about how it goes with Dave Alen?
But listen, I know for 100% fact, and this is why Dave's always very sketchy about fighting me. And he won't hold no conversation with anyone about me fighting him. But yet he makes out that it's because there's no money in the fight, but he'd turn around and want to fight a full fight prospect. So listen, I think that tells you a lot itself. Listen, I jab Dave's nose his face. Like, quite simple. I want to fight Dave for the same reason Dave don't want to fight me. And that's because, listen, it's a one-horse race. I know Dave. I know what he is. Dave is to a penny in the heavyweight division. He's looking for that one over-the-top right hand. But the thing is with Dave is he isn't educated enough to land it against he isn't against somebody who's switched on with a boxing brain. He's not. I don't think he's capable of landing that shot. All you ever hear him bang on about is when he knocked Nick Webb out. Nick is a tremendous.
That was a great knockout, though.
Really good friend.
Yeah.
It was a great knockout. But listen, let's have it right. Let's have it right. He was getting his nut jabbed in until Nick got lazy and complacent, having things a bit too much his own way, and then just switch off. Which that's all it takes. Listen, we see the other night with Dillian. We see the other night having it all his own way, switch off a split second, cost him the fight. Do you know what I mean? And that's heavyweight boxing. That's the beauty. That's why people tune into it. That's why people love it, because there's never a winner until the final bell's rung. Yeah, I mean,
hey, ain't that true?
That's it. That's it. That's it. The beauty of the big boys having it.
Tom, they want to know: do you want smoke with Babic? That's another one that's come up from Ammar Hussein. You want smoke with Babic?
Yeah, but
full smoke.
I love Babic as a man. Babic as a man, I think he's a brilliant fellow. Me and him talk. We are two very similar people, believe it or not. Like, if you maybe put me in, like, we're so similar, it's crazy. But look, this is business, and these are the sort of fights that people want. Two men that don't really care, go and put it on the line, haven't got an ounce of quit in their body, haven't got it. that don't exist in us. So, like that's what it is. I genuinely think me and Babic's fight should be shown on a black and white TV because it will genuinely be like an
Right.
old heavyweight fight.
Dust up.
Like,
Um,
yeah, because listen, I'm only ever gonna run for so long, and then I'm gonna anchor my feet in and swing for the rafters. That's it. I'm not gonna be suffocated with a rug named Babic. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what he's gonna do. He's a very dangerous man. Can punch, but you can't run as a big man. You can't run around flicky someone like that because you're just inviting pressure.
Fraser Steen, are there any of your earlier losses that you'd like to avenge today?
Any of my losses I'd like to avenge today. Do you know what it is? I was saying earlier on, realizing when I boxed Daniel, like I had a broken hand. I hurt my hand in sparring, but I didn't think it was broken. That is on my kids' life. I didn't think it was broken. And then when I was warming up, I felt something in it, and I caught Daniel with a left hook, and it went. I'm not saying it'd end differently. I'm not saying that. Daniel's a world class operator, and I'll be blunt and honest with you. I'm not. I'm good domestic level. I know where my bearings are. It's just look. I will dare to be brave, and that's how it is with me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a shitbag who'll turn down fights left, right, and centre because of pride and because of I can go a different way around it. But I'd like to know. It took him 5 rounds to get rid of me with one hand. Do you know what I mean? And he's bowling these guys out left, right, and centre, like 2-round jobbies. Do you know what I mean? So and
Last night against Riders. Yeah.
So I'd like to have a dust up with him with two good strong hands and a good proper camp underneath me. Yeah, I'd like that. Listen. There's every fight that I've lost, I'd love to avenge it. But the realisticness is where them men are going. The one fight I would. It's bittersweet because of how it was stopped. I'd be David Price, but you know what I mean? I hold it against David. I hold it against the referee. You know what I mean? It wasn't David's fault. You know what I mean?
I remember it was slightly premature. That's my opinion. It was slightly premature.
Yeah.
The stoppage.
Listen, all the time you've ever spoke to me, have I ever once spoken shit?
No, you just say you say the real. You say the real.
Yeah. Like I was hurt. I was wobbled. I felt my equilibrium. I felt myself buzz. Yeah. But with the amount of rounds I've done with David, yeah, I know if he was going to switch me out, he would have done it on that next follow up. Like there's a very fine line with David between being dangerous and vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? And I knew that my legs were back underneath me. I went back. Listen, I'm a veteran of boxing. I'm not an up and coming. If my legs were that badly gone, I'm not too proud to take a knee and see the round out. Do you know what I mean? If I need to, I know if I need to do that, that's what you need to do. But it is what it is, and it's no good crying over spilt milk. Do you know what I mean? If any of them fights ever come up again, then we'll have them. No problem. No problem.
All right. Well, next question is from Jazz11. You think you could beat Joyce? How would you go about it? Surely you'd have to hurt him from stopping him coming forward.
Joe, what? Joyce is another one like Babic. You've got to stick and move. Like you've got to move, but you've got to let him know that he just can't run forward at you all the time. But it's nigh on impossible to hurt the man. Listen, I've sparred rounds upon rounds with Joe. I've hit Joe with shots that you would throw inside a pub, like when someone ain't looking, like literally from my ankle and lean on his chin. and he just wanders forward at you, like you throw 2 hard shots, he throw 4. They won't be hard, but they're just constant work. But it's just one of them where, like, I do believe I could beat Joe. I believe that I've got the right style for Joe, being 110% fit, not the Tom Little that's sitting now with a pair of titties hanging down to his knees.
Hey, show the viewers, man. Show the viewers, man.
Look at them Bristol Cities, boy. Who are you going, son? No, but it's like that. It's like someone like Michael Hunter would be everything wrong for Joe. Do you know what I mean?
He's a mover, isn't he?
Like, yeah. Listen, I think Michael Hunter is literally the dark horse of the full division. Like, he is the dark horse in the. If I was him, if I was anybody, and they were trying to get me the fight, I would literally make him the who needs him man. Because, like, I'd be like, listen, Swerve, you're too hard a night's work for not enough reward, mate.
But I suppose both Michael Hunter and Usyk now, their stock has risen since the upset that Dillian had. I think both their stocks risen because obviously Usyk beat Michael Hunter at cruiser. So they both come up to heavyweight now.
Yeah.
And Michael Hunter was great against Povetkin for the first half of the fight. He was electric. You remember in Saudi, when he was in Saudi, Michael Hunter was electric.
Mate.
So now people are looking at them like, wow, okay, those are tough fights.
Yeah, but this is the thing, like, with that fight there, right? And this is where you can soon get, but what's that? Not nothing against Michael Hunter. Great fighter. I genuinely listen. He's one of the fighters I watch. Like, I like to watch. But there's a difference between all through that fight. It was tit for tat with Povetkin. Dillian Whyte was beating Povetkin up. He was beating Babic up, and like I said, switched off for a minute, for a split second, and that's the difference in heavyweight boxing. That's why everyone loves to watch it, because one split second can cost a fight. Like I said earlier on, you've not won a fight until the final bell, and until that bell goes, there's always a chance of losing, and that's the beauty of heavyweight boxing. You're never out and out.
Shaz is in the building. Shaz. Tom Little, my mate Shaz is in the building. He says, Triple D or Joe Joyce, JJ. October, who wins?
I was going with Joyce and whatever, not enough. Hello?
Yo, Tom, I can hear you, mate.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're back. So who wins? Triple D or Joyce?
Yeah.
Tom?
Right, well, this is how it is. I think, like, I let my feeling of them as persons, like me like for Joe and like me bitterness against Daniel, cloud me judgment a little bit as far as it goes. And I've got to be real and honest. I don't think you can let a man like Daniel hit you clean on the button, like early, especially early. Carries all that power, every single piece of his being in them two hands, because both of them's equally as strong. Like, he's got a jab like some people's bands, like, and that's no joke. I can testify to that. Put my hand on the Bible. And Joe, he takes everything of every shot. Do you know what I mean? He takes it. It's blunt trauma. So, listen, I want Joe to win. I want him to win. But if I'm betting, I'd have to.
Wow. Okay, Tom. MTK Live Horizontal HD. How did the quarantine affect him, and how has it affected other boxers?
How did the quarantine affect me?
Yeah, how did it affect you, and how did it affect other boxers that you know of?
Listen, you're getting mixed results really all across the board. There's some people that you're never going to see in the sport again because of quarantine. It didn't really make no odds to me really. I've ticked over here and there, but not really ever put my foot down on the gas. It hasn't really made a lot of difference to my life, if I'm honest with you. But I've seen a lot of people who are creatures of habit and creatures of routine that it has really messed with. That it has really caused them to fluctuate in weight because they can't live with their nutritionist and whatever not and stuff like that. And with the gyms being closed, they need that sort of gym environment to train and whatever not. It's disheartening when you see good fighters that are going to fall by the wayside because of this whole pandemic thing. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I've just the minute all this come about, for me, there's something much bigger than boxing, and that's the people around me, and just soaking up
100.
every bit. And that was it. When all this come about, boxing went on the back burner. There you go. If needs be, I'll go and get a job in a factory. I'm just going to enjoy the time I got with the people around me because, as we've seen from this disgusting disease, is it can be their life can be taken in the blink of an eye. So you got to make every day count, and that I do believe with that outlook is what's made it not so torturous for me. Do you know what I mean?
All right, Tom, we just got to give a bit of appreciation to MTK Live Horizontal HD, Toby Bartlett, Shaz in the building. Shaz is asking, does he know Peacock's in Canning Town shut its doors? I remember you and Dominic Akalede did a weigh-in back there in a Dove Box promotion day. Remember Tommy Dove? Dove Box?
I remember Tommy. Tommy Dove put the rematch on of being I boxed Dominic on there.
Akalede, yeah.
And I boxed Dominic on there, and I rematched Tom Dallas on there as well, which was that was a big one for me because that haunted me, that loss. Because like I said, I didn't lose by getting beat up. I lost through exhaustion because I was fat and didn't train. I literally jumped off the sofa and went to fight. And that is no joke. I'm not saying that to be sarcastic. I literally jumped off the sofa and went for a fight. Yeah, that revenging that and doing it in the round I said I was going to do it and how I was going to do it was that meant everything really. But yeah, they were good shows for little small shows. Tommy Duff put a good show on for a small show. He put
100%.
And it needs people like that in it that are not just too concerned on rinsing these young fighters that are coming through. That are, you know what I mean? That like you get people, yeah, 1,050 else. Like I've spoke to you before about the business side of boxing, and like with the small wall and everything like that, and it's literally a horrible game, and that's what's prompted me to move into like a bit of management and everything because I don't want to see good kids get ruined. I don't want to see anybody get ruined, but I don't want to especially see a talented kid get ruined. That's soul destroying when you got a love for boxing like I've got. I don't have a passion. I have a deep seated love for boxing, and always have done, always will do. And I don't just want to see kids prosper. I want to see the sport prosper itself. And by that, it's making sure that the current kids get the right opportunity.
Who's your favourite fighter in boxing, aside from Billy Joe? Amo Hussein. Question to you.
My favourite fighter in boxing. What, past or present?
That's a good question. Let's go for present.
My favourite boxer at present is Caleb Plant. That's my favourite in a minute. That man.
IBF super middleweight champion.
Yeah.
He hasn't really got the notoriety yet, has he?
No, but I genuinely believe there's a reason why nobody calls his name, because all these men at the top are boxing men, and they listen. It's a funny thing when you've done quality rounds with quality people, you literally smell quality. Do you know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to see the best of someone to know how good they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. It's very strange, and I just believe, like, he's just an excellent fighter, rounded, judge of distance, sharp counter punching IQ, like, unbelievable. There's so many good fighters. I could go on all day, if I'm honest with you. Like, I could literally go on all day about fighters that I like and like things that they do, but he's the most rounded that I like. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's fighters that I like that what he does, or like such and such his footwork, or like, do you know what I mean? But for rounding, for everything that he does, he's the one.
Caleb Plant. Question for me. We saw Daniel Dubois last night take out Snyder's in 2 rounds. How do you kind of measure him against the elite? You know, there's been a lot of calling out by Frank Warren of Daniel to face someone like Dillian Whyte. You've been in a ring with Daniel Dubois. Is he placed amongst the boxing elite at the moment? Is he ready, or does he still need some more learning fights?
Listen, but when is someone ready? Do you know what I mean? When are they ready? There's never a time when you realise that they're ready until they fight that fight and either win or fall short. That's when you know. That's the only other time you can generally say he weren't ready. Yeah. What are you doing, Miguel? Just go and find your mum for me for a second. I'll come up to you. Yeah, nobody knows until that fight happens and the other fight falls short. But I believe Daniel is a world elite level fighter. But it's just when he gets his chance, will he take it? And he's at the worst time to be a world elite level fighter, because there's so many world elite level fighters there. There's so many great fighters there, like your Hergoviches, like obviously Tyson, like your Povetkin, like your Michael Hunters, like your Usyks. You know what I mean? Like, they're crawling out of the woodwork. All good guys that you can't say. There's not one top level fighter that you can generally say is overrated. All of them's earned their place at being an elite level fighter. And I generally do believe, Joe Watt, the winner of Joe and Daniel, they will take their place in that proper elite. Like,
100%. Yeah.
I reckon the winner of them, like, you ain't got to take a Dillian Whyte or anything. Go a tier below that if you want, like a Manuel Charr or someone like that. Still a good fighter, a good, well-respected fighter, but that's the step in order to go. But look, Frank Warren is a masterful matchmaker. He will make the right matches at the right time and shout for the right clout at the right time as well. But let's have it right. Frank knows that fight's not going to get made in no hurry. But listen, it puts a bit of there's a lot of highlight around Dillian. with his fight with Povetkin, with the mandatory status and whatever not, brings a lot of highlight to Daniel, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It takes a bit of shine off of Eddie's show. Yes. Wait there. Don't be rude. Takes a bit of shine off of Eddie Earn and makes it out to be what's name. Go to your mum then. Go to your mum. Tash. Yeah. So that's it really.
Next question, Jaspreet, Panchi. Who are your favorite boxers outside the heavyweight division? I think you've already said Caleb Plant, but is there one more that you might say, or a couple more, that tickle your fancy?
Joe,
like your mate, Billy Joe Saunders?
You know what I really, really liked was Tete.
Tete, yeah. Solana Tete.
Yeah, mate, that man from the night he turned Paul Butler over, he had me sold then. And I was heartbroken when he got beaten. I was heartbroken.
100%.
But
I don't. Hey guys, hit that like button. Subscribe if you ain't subscribed. We're in the building with Tom Little, all the way in sunny Hatfield. And yeah, so this is about Tom Little answering questions for some of the fans. Right, Tom, Katie Taylor and Delphine Pursoon. It's been a very controversial 2 fights. Who do you think won the fights? Well, both of them, 1 and 2.
I think Pursoon had the first one, and I don't know what I think. Listen, it's very rare that I agree with Eddie Earn, but I think people are like just giving anything close to Pursoon because they felt she won the first fight. Because I've watched that fight twice with no sound and scored it, and I've come out the same way both times. So I had Katie Taylor 3 rounds. I'd
3 rounds.
Katie Taylor by 3. The art. Yeah, I had it by 3 rounds. The art of boxing is skill, not running at someone and just like punch. There's no real skill in that. You know what I mean? There's no real skill in that. Like, make them miss, make them pay, hit and not get hit. Like, and the art of the cleaner shots and everything. And what disappointed me was how many boxing people in boxing that are meant to be a lover of boxing, are going like this woman's running forward like an absolute lunatic. Like, and they're scoring rounds for just work rate alone. But when you're watching it, the people that are ringside, I can understand where they might get caught away because you see on the TV everything that hits clean, everything that goes off the shoulder, everything that's getting made look like it's missing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I see all the good work that Katie Taylor done. Do you know what I mean? It was a hard fight. But I think she kept her composure for most of the rounds, and like I think she done a display of good calculated boxing against a very awkward gun-ho opponent who just didn't have relentless, didn't have no stopping. You know what I mean? It was never going to be a clean cut because of the style. You know what I mean? It's never going to be that. It's never going to be a cut, clean, clinical performance. But I don't mean no harm. I think the story was told when they both stood in the middle of the ring, like she was going on a night out, like she'd been hit by a car.
Yeah, she had quite a bit of bruising by the end of the fight. Tom, we need to ask you about your mate Billy Joe. Now, there's rumors that he could indeed have that fight with Canelo Alvarez in November. What can you tell me? You're good mates with Billy Joe. What can you tell me?
Listen, the fact that I'm good mates with Billy Joe, he knows I'm a big mouth and I'd open my mouth, so he won't tell me nothing. He knows I'm going to release it, so I'll be the last person to tell. Look, the way I look at it with that is, I know they're all. I know he's close to making a deal for a fight. That's about it. I know he's close to making a deal for a fight, whether it's with him, because what I've grown to understand is there's more than one name in the hat, and that's not Billy Joe as an opponent. There's more than one name in the hat for people that Billy Joe could be fighting, all for around the same sort of. Do you know what I mean? Like Billy Joe, Canelo's not the only option for Billy Joe to fight this year. That I do know.
Wow. Because I see Billy Joe I see him on the ground, man. He's been training hard, man. So I'm thinking, is there a fight imminent? That's what I'm thinking. He looks like he's working hard behind the scenes.
Oh, no, I think Joe's just getting to the point where he knows he's at the point. Whatever big fight it is, he's not going to get the world to know, and he ain't going to let them catch him slide. Do you know what I mean? So he's just getting sharp and ready. So if they come up and say 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and go, right, I'm ready to go, let's go. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the whole outlook with Joe at the minute. But look, again, like I said about the Dave Allen thing, there's a reason why they keep slipping, sliding, dodging, diving, putting fence tracks up about what's name. Because they're boxing people. They know. They know. Billy Joe is not going to be an easy night. I'm not saying Billy Joe's going to run away with the fight and punch Canelo's head in. What I am saying to you is, if there's a middle/super middle to beat Canelo Alvarez, Billy Joe is the man on the face of this planet to do it. Yeah, and honestly, trust me in this here. Trust me when I tell you this. You have not seen 60% of Billy Joe. Trust me, Billy Joe ain't seen 60% of himself. He needs that fear. Let me put it this way. The move was the biggest name that he's fought, the most feared name that he's fought, realistically. That and Andy Lee. And it's them two performances that brought the best out of him. And that's what Billy Joe needs. That is what he needs. He needs that where he thinks, right, it's on. It is on. And that is the thing. I've said this a million times. I've only ever seen two people with this thing, like this way that they just always. Three people I've found. Tyson, Billy Joe, and my little mate Louis. They just always, no matter what, find a way. No matter how things are going down, no matter how things are, like they find a way, no matter what. And that's the difference between being great and an all-time great. I believe. I genuinely do believe
that. Okay, couple more questions. Manuel Tingen, Lucas Brown said he's interested in bare knuckle boxing. Are you interested, Tom? Bare knuckles, the feels, gypsy style.
Mate, let me tell you something. I was born and raised on bare knuckles. If I got let me tell you something. Big old tattooed doormen, like him. I've been making messes of them since I was 15-year-old. Like, that man stands out on the pavement, and it's only going to end one way. And it's going to end up worse than what Dillian Whyte done to him, because I will leave him in a puddle of his own piss and shit.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's work through the questions. Toby Bartlett, I was told by a good Canelo source. Canelo's been in talks with Callum Smith all along, but he wants to see the BJS fight. Callum Smith, front runner, potentially for Canelo. I mean, how would that fight go for you?
I just think Callum Smith is everything that Canelo goes to bed having wet dreams about, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, tall. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Callum's a big, strong, super middle, big, strong. Very good fighter, proven that in it fights in the Super Six and even before that. But I just believe that stylistically, look at the style, Canelo's all wrong for Callum. Do you know what I mean? I generally do, and like that ain't no disrespect to Callum because I generally, if Callum do get the fight, I'd be hoping and praying that something changes in the stars and he finds a career best performance and goes and does it because I generally would. I'm not one of them to go sit there and be backing some American or Mexican guy to come and beat one of our own fighters. I'm a true blue like that. I won't go against our own. But I, I've got to talk real. I've got to talk honest, and it's it's a very, very, very hard night's work for Callum. It's a hard night's work for anyone, but it's like he's on. But we see, don't be wrong. Callum Smith ain't no Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding ain't no Callum Smith. But look at the styles are quite mirror, not mirror image, but they're quite similar. Like if you had a fighter and Callum Smith, you'd get Rocky Fielding in for sparring. Do you know what I'm saying? And look how that happened. Look how that worked out.
All right, this is the last question. Last question for me, and then one more from Manuel. Okay, we'll start with Manuel's question. Decision time. You can sign a 3-year contract. Who do you sign with? Hearn, Warren, Hennessy, or Sauerland?
Hearn.
And with Hearn?
Hearn. 100%. Nothing against the other fighters, like the Alen brothers. Had a lot of pleasure working with Frank, but the most consistent and the best operation to put a show together, and that I've got the same match for him. I've always found them to be the best to work with for me. Do you know what I mean? I've only ever been there as an opponent. I'm just saying, for me, like Eddie's easier to deal with. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what? I've never signed one fight agreement with Eddie. Never. Like usually they send you back out, you read through it, and they can sue you if you pull out for not a good enough reason. I've never signed not one of them with him. Literally, I've said to Eddie, I've said to Eddie. Well, how about this? I said to Eddie a while ago. I said, if I give you my word, you don't need no pen and paper. I'd die before I'd break my word. I said, I'd die before I break my word. Then I looked up. What fight was it before? Before the David Price fight, I got offered to fight somebody on a Frank Warren show. 20,000 quid more money than what Eddie was offering me. I sent him the thing through what they sent to me, and I sent him a screenshot of me saying no, I've already agreed to fight me. Done. And I could have just went off and just void Eddie's phone calls and just went and fought because I never had no legal obligation to. But what's happened? For me, 20,000 quid couldn't buy my word. That's how it is because I don't look at things like I'm only here as a fighter. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be round boxing for a long time, and you don't want to make bad friends over shitty
Money.
like out there.
Yeah, loyalty first. 100%. Final question for me.
Yep.
Final question. Okay, so I see Anthony Joshua has been quoted as saying that he'd do Tyson Fury in 5 or 6 rounds. I think it was 6 rounds. You know both. What do you reckon?
You're gonna do this. No. You're gonna do this to me.
I know you're caught in the middle. I know you're caught in the middle, but this is things we got to talk about, man. 5, 6 rounds.
And you'd give Joshua a case with anybody in 5 or 6 rounds. You'd give Joshua a case with anybody in 2 or 3 rounds, to be fair. But look, for me, and I'm just saying for me personally, Joshua knows I've got a lot of time for him. I've got a lot of time for him, and the man is nothing but a gentleman. Generally is. But, and this is a but, I believe Joshua beats 99.9% of men out there. And that ain't no shit talk. That's me generally talking true. Like your Dubois, like your Hrgoviches, like all them guys there. I think Joshua finds a way to beat him because he's a lot more educated than people give him credit for. But that 0.1% is Tyson Fury. A man is a different breed of animal altogether. And that ain't me like blowing smoke. That's me just talking facts. A man is a different breed. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if it came out as an alien or something because he's just so advanced. Like, I've been boxing my whole life. I've never seen anything like it. Never witnessed anything like it. Never been punched in the face like anything like it. Like, I've never had problems landing shots on anybody, anyone. Joshua, Whyte. I've had problems hurting them. I've had plenty of problems hurting them because that's it. But I never had problems hitting them. But him, made me miss like a matador, and then smacking me up the ear with them long gangly arms, and them smacks ain't soft. They hurt.
Like a matador, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. Tom, look, it's been a pleasure. I would like to thank the viewers that came in. It wasn't planned. It was just like we thought, let's just do it. And then Tom Little stepped up to the plate as usual. Good guy, all supporting Pep Talk. Look out for Tom. He's going to be in the ring real soon. Support the channel, subscribe, hit that like button. Tom Little, Pro Bees. Big up my guy Shaz also as well. Pep Talk UK. We're going to do it again, baby. Tom Little. We out here. Cheers, Tom. Cheers, mate. Cheers.